So this is going to be your visual step-by-step tutorial for the Arbor Knot. This is the knot that you're going to use to tie your fishing line onto your reel. And obviously this isn't the fishing line you're going to use. I'm just using this for, visual purposes so you can actually see exactly what I'm doing. And normally I would have the reel attached to the rod. However, for this video, it's a lot easier for me to handle and show you the actual knot while I'm putting it onto the reel. So in the future, if you are going to spool your line onto your reel, I would suggest attaching your reel to your rod. It just makes it a little easier, while you're actually spooling your line onto the reel. Without further ado, let's get into this. First thing you want to do is open the bail. When you open the bail and you put your fishing line around the spool, when you close the bail, your fishing line is going to end up going into the roller. And this is the roller right here. It's going to end up going in there. If you don't have your bail open and you just try to, tie it around, when you go to reel in your line, it's not going to work because your fishing line is not attached to the roller, and that's going to be problematic. So first thing you do is you open your bail and you wrap the fishing line around the spool. Here's your main line. Your main line is attached to the spool of fishing line. And then this is your tag end. Your tag end is obviously going to be cut off at the end. And the first step is tie a knot. Tie a knot in your fishing line right at the end. And then you're going to cut as close to the knot as you possibly can. Okay? There. That's the first step. I'll just clean this up. So that's the first step. You're going to tie a knot in the end of your fishing line and cut the tag end off. And I guess the second step would be to put the line around the spool, sorry. So that's the second step. Third step is you have your main line and your tag end is going to go over and on top of the main line, kind of like a cross, if you will. And then you're going to tuck it in underneath the main line, and then from there you're going to just tie a regular knot. Let's see if I can bring this closer for you guys to see. So over top of the main line, tuck underneath. So you kind of make a loop. That's what you want to do. There's going to be a loop right here, and that's basically what you want to secure. So you're just going to tie your knot like that. So your main line is going through that loop, and then you're just going to tighten that like that. And what this does is it acts kind of like a noose, where when you pull a noose, the line tightens up. So when you pull this tight, that's all going to tighten up. And as you keep pulling this and sliding it down, it slides and gets tight right against your reel. Just tighten this knot a little bit more. There you go. And then you push this down, and your knot is going to be nice and tight right against your reel. The first knot that you put in is going to hold your line in place so it doesn't continue to slide off the line. And that's the Arbor Knot in itself. That's exactly what it is. Now I go as far as doing another step here, and I think most people would tell you to do the same thing. Is once you tied your knot, you're going to figure out what way your line is going to spin onto your spool. So when you turn this, what way is it going to spin? What way is it going to lay down? You can see that it's laying down towards the left. Untangle this here. So it lays down this way. And what I do is I just put a piece of tape around both sides, over here and over here. I put a tape right across the knot and lay this down as well. And what that's going to do is it's going to hold your line in place. Because if you don't tape it, especially using braided line, and you have a fish on and the fish, you know, pulls, this line is just going to slide and pull, and you're going to lose all your line. You're going to most likely lose the fish, and yeah, that's just going to be a problem. So I just put a piece of tape right across that section. I like to use hockey tape or electrical tape. I just find it grips and grabs a little bit more as the line lays down on top of it. So you'll just use a little bit of tape, and it doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be the whole spool. You can put it across the whole spool if you want. It will give it a little extra grip. Some people also do put the tape on around the spool before they actually tie their arbor knot. You can do that as well, but either or works. And I'll just cut this in half so it's not overlapping on the spool itself. So we've already established which way the line is going to lay down. It's going to lay down this way, because as you reel it in, the roller is going to spin around, and it's going to lay your line down this way. So I'll just put a piece of tape right here, back here, across the knot. Make sure I lay that line down, and I wouldn't put it on top of the other line. Like I wouldn't put you know, the main line on top of where your knot is. I would just put it beside it. So that's all taped down. Now keep in mind, you know, this obviously, this string that I'm using is very thick, so it's not the type of string that you would want to use your fishing line, obviously. So now you got your tape on there, so when, you know, you do have a fish, see the difference is that sound is actually the bail, the drag. So if my drag was tight, you wouldn't be able to pull that. Tighten it right up. Now you pull, and I'm pulling this, I'm pulling pretty hard, so you can't pull that. That's not going to slide at all. That's why I put the tape on. So that is how you tie the arbor knot, and the fail safe for making sure that you don't lose all of your line and your line doesn't spin around on your spool when you catch a fish. And there you have it.